Amitabha Buddha? So a question that came out from our Thursday online meditation, and this person asked that he'd been told by others to gain rebirth to the Pure Land just by practicing Nianfo is not sufficient. One must also practice other practices such as reciting some mantras like the Suragama mantra, or he was also told that he must attend a retreat, a Nianfo retreat for 7 days. And so he heard a lot of different sayings and he was a bit confused. And also he wanted me to explain about the self-power and other power method. What are the differences? Okay, so first thing first, if one wants to seek rebirth to the Pure Land, the sole practice of Nianfo, of Amitabha recitation, is enough. You don't need to practice other things. You don't need to remember other mantras. But if you have the sort of hobby or interest that you like to recite other mantras, you can also do that. For me, I love the Heart Sutra, so I recite the Heart Sutra. But know that if you just want to seek rebirth, the practice of Amitabha recitation is definitely enough. So yes, there are a lot of different sayings out there, but who should we really listen to? Who told us about this method? It's the Buddha. Sakyamuni Buddha told us about this Nianfo practice to seek rebirth to the Pure Land in the Pure Land Sutras. So we must refer to the sutra. And the sutras told us that just by reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha, even for 10 recitations at the time of death, if we believe in Amitabha Buddha and we want to seek rebirth, then this is enough. Practice of Nianfo is definitely enough. So one must not compare this practice of Pure Land Buddhism to other branches of Buddhism or other practices. The Pure Land Buddhism is also called the other power method or the two power method, like I've explained in some of my previous videos. We rely on the great vows of Amitabha Buddha to help us seek rebirth to the Pure Land. So Amitabha Buddha made 48 vows when he was a bodhisattva before he realized Buddhahood. And amongst all these vows, the 18th vow says that for all the beings from all different directions, if they hear my name, sincerely and joyfully believe in it, and they wholeheartedly want to seek rebirth, then even for 10 recitations, they can gain rebirth to my land. So this is the vow made by Amitabha Buddha. And because he has already realized Buddhahood for 10 kalpas in the Pure Land, so this is definitely true. He has realized this vow. So we rely on his power, his vow to seek rebirth. It's not our power. So this is different from other practices where one relies on self-effort to first realize enlightenment in order to exit the cycle of reincarnation. Whereas if one seeks rebirth to the Pure Land, there is no need for one to first obtain enlightenment. But after we obtain rebirth to the Pure Land, we will realize enlightenment there quickly. But sometimes the Nianfo practice is also called the two power method, in that there is still a bit of job on our part. That is, we have to believe in Amitabha Buddha and we want to seek rebirth, also practice Nianfo. It's like Amitabha Buddha gives us a lift and we need to want to go into the lift and want to press the button to go up to the top. It's important to know that for Nianfo practitioners, even if we practice Nianfo really well, like a normal meditation, but if we don't believe in Amitabha Buddha and we don't want to go to the Pure Land, then we will not be able to gain rebirth. Of course, Amitabha Buddha will not force us to do anything we don't want to do. And some people so does that mean I just practice at the time of death, I don't need to do anything now? Well, the thing is, we shall really practice this constantly to cultivate a habit to be in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha, so we can be sure that at the time of death, when impermanence happens, which could really mean any time, we just don't know sometimes. So we remember to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, and even for 10 recitations, sometimes even less, if we are really one-heartedly, when we recite the name, we resonate with Amitabha Buddha's energy really well, then we can definitely seek rebirth to the Pure Land. So you don't need other practices. And sure, you can also join a 7-day Nianfu retreat, which is also called 4-qi in Chinese. So Nianfu for 7 days. Qi means 7 in Chinese. So 4-qi to help you cultivate the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. But just know that this is not mandatory. It's not like you must attend it in order to seek rebirth. You don't need to do it. You can still seek rebirth. You can simply practice Nianfu at home, make a retreat at home. So it's all about cultivating the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. And it doesn't matter whether you join a retreat or you just practice by yourself. So a lot of people who have not attended any retreat, or they have not even heard of this Dharma until maybe at the time of death, they can still seek rebirth, like the rebirth case of Zhang Shanhe I've shared before. In China, a lot of grandmas, they don't know anything about the sutras, they just know about Amitabha Buddha, they just recite Amitofo, 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 and they could all seek rebirth to the Pure Land. The person who came to the Thursday meditation also said he heard that in Chinese Pure Land Buddhism, they often practice Chan and Pure Land together. Well, actually, in today's Pure Land schools in China, most of them were single-mindedly practicing Pure Land Buddhism. We practice Nianfu one-heartedly to seek rebirth to the Pure Land, and also we might also chant some sutras and study the Pure Land sutras. This is perhaps more for the Chan school. For the Chan school, they also have Pure Land practice, just in case. If they can't realize enlightenment in this lifetime, they can rely on the great vows of Amitabha Buddha to seek rebirth to the Pure Land and to exit the cycle of reincarnation. This method was actually promoted by the 6th patriarch of Pure Land Buddhism, Yongming Yanshou, Master Yongming Yanshou, who is also believed to be an incarnation of Amitabha Buddha. So there are stories about how people knew about this. At that time, there weren't many people practicing Pure Land, but there were lots of people who practiced Chan Buddhism. So Master Yongming Yanshou came to this world and the first who became a master in Chan Buddhism. And in the later stage of his life, he promoted Pure Land Buddhism and also advocated Chan and Pure Land to be practiced together, especially for those who practice Chan Buddhism. You know, if they can't realize enlightenment, then again they are stuck in the cycle of reincarnation. So they shall rely on the great vows of Amitabha Buddha and to seek rebirth to the Pure Land first. So in conclusion, if one wants to seek rebirth to the Pure Land, just solely rely on Amitabha recitation is sufficient, and one has deep faith in Amitabha Buddha and one wants to seek rebirth. These are enough. These are the 3 criteria that are guarantee you to gain rebirth to the Pure Land, which I've also discussed in my previous videos. So I hope I answered the questions, and may we all obtain rebirth to the land of ultimate bliss and to be liberated from all sufferings in life. Namo Amituofo Buddha.